Once upon a time, there was a brave forest ranger named Samuel who was assigned to patrol a dense and eerie forest known as Blackwood. From his very first day, Samuel had heard rumors about the forest being haunted. The wilderness around Blackwood seemed to wither under a perpetual gloom, and the air was always thick with an unsettling silence. One stormy night, as Samuel was deep in the heart of Blackwood, the atmosphere suddenly changed. The wind howled ferociously, ripping through the branches of the ancient trees, creating an orchestra of haunting melodies. Samuel's heart pounded in his chest as he tried to seek shelter from the encroaching storm. As he stumbled upon a dilapidated cabin, he decided it was better to wait inside until the tempest passed. Unbeknownst to Samuel, this cabin had a dark and tragic past. It was rumored to be inhabited by ghosts of long-deceased loggers who had met a gruesome fate within the forest. Fearful yet determined, Samuel lit a candle he found inside the cabin, suddenly revealing a series of eerie symbols etched into the walls. An ominous chill ran down his spine, and he could feel his breath quicken. The flickering candlelight cast menacing shadows that danced across the walls, creating grotesque shapes that seemed to whisper to him. It was then that a ghostly figure materialized from the shadows. It was an apparition of an old logger, his face twisted in pain and anguish. His eerie voice echoed through the air, recounting the horror he and his fellow loggers had experienced. They had been forced to labor mercilessly in the heart of Blackwood, without rest or respite until the forest claimed their lives, one by one. Samuel stood frozen in terror as more phantom loggers emerged, each more terrifying than the last. They began to chant eerily, their dead eyes locked onto his. It felt like they were probing into his very soul, making him question his own sanity. But it was the final ghost, a specter with a face consummate by darkness, that filled Samuel with the most profound sense of dread. Its chilling voice echoed into the depths of his mind, uttering the most sinister of warnings. It told him that if he remained in the forest, he would meet the same grim fate as the loggers, forever trapped and tormented by Blackwood. With each passing second, the cabin's walls seemed to narrow, suffocating Samuel's hopes of escape. The loggers' cries became louder, filling the cabin with a symphony of despair. Desperate and filled with a primal fear, Samuel dashed towards the cabin door, adrenaline surging through his veins. As he burst out of the cabin, the storm had waned, and the moon cast an eerie glow over the forest, revealing the twisted and ancient trees that loomed like grotesque sentinels. Disoriented and gasping for breath, Samuel quickened his pace, but the forest seemed intent on trapping him forever. The ghostly loggers chased him relentlessly through the dense underbrush. Their howls and distorted laughter echoed through the night. Samuel's heart pounded in his ears as he fought against his screaming muscles, his mind growing increasingly frazzled. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, a familiar voice pierced through the cacophony. It was the voice of an old Cherokee tribesman he had met years ago in Blackwood. In his dying breath, he shared a sacred chant to ward off the forest's malevolent spirits. Summoning the strength from within, Samuel summoned the chant, spewing it out with his remaining breath. Suddenly, the forest fell silent, the ghostly figures dissipating into the night air. Exhausted and relieved, Samuel stumbled out of Blackwood, a changed man forever. From that day forward, Samuel resigned from his post as a forest ranger, haunted by the ghostly encounter in Blackwood. But deep within his heart, he knew that the spirits of the loggers would forever be trapped within the confines of that accursed forest, waiting for their next victim to cross their path.